Workplace bullying and harassment is a real problem in New Zealand. 1 in 5 workers are affected every year, with women and minorities experiencing the most.
One man who's a lawyer and Muslim says he was bullied while working at MB, the ministry responsible for investigating and preventing bullying in the workplace.
He says he was left feeling suicidal and eventually had to leave his job, while the woman who he claims bullied him was promoted. National correspondent Amanda Gillies has this Because It Matters story.
Back in Afghanistan, you get physical harm by getting blown up, and I've experienced it. I saw lots of my mates getting killed. But when I came to New Zealand, I experienced a lot of mental harm caused by other people.
Those people, he says, are lawyers, bullies who made his life hell and forced him out of a job and almost out of his mind. Mentally, what toll did this take?
I just came to a point that I thought life was not worth it. I just wanted to myself.
He wants his identity protected for now, but is sharing his story in the hope that others don't go through the same experience. He is himself a lawyer and worked for MB, the Ministry of Business, Innovation and Employment, the ministry that's meant to look after and protect employees who are bullied. The man started working at MB here in Auckland back in 2018. The following year he became a lawyer there, and that's when he says the bullying started by an older female colleague. He says he was singled out and picked on for any mistake. He was called a dick for missing a conference, was accused of theft for taking home a keyboard to do work, and was called back to work early after surgery.
I was told by my surgeon to stay home for 2 weeks, and then I was required to go back after 3 days, and I showed my medical certificate, and she said, "Oh, you're just making this up, you've been partying." And I said, "I actually don't drink because I'm Muslim." And then she was just like, "Oh, whatever," and just laughed it off.
He laid official complaints with supervisors. They offered sessions with a psychologist who said he needed to be protected from the bullying. MB told him to work from home, then called him back in. He says he was told it is what it is, and the colleague was protected and promoted.
So I couldn't speak to her saying, "Why are you doing this?" Otherwise she would just get so upset and she would swear at me.
He finally quit last year, feeling powerless and disillusioned.
But MB told Newshub the man resigned during an integrity investigation, pointing out these are conducted when there are allegations of wrongdoing against staff and potential risks posed to MB.
In response, the man said it was claimed he had a conflict of interest because he worked for MB but spoke out against the government over Afghani refugees, while also helping many of them into the country.
I escaped the war to come here for peaceful, but then I experienced a different conflict where bullying was like mental harm done to you by another colleague.
And he says he's not alone, claiming a colleague who committed suicide also faced pressure and problems working at MB.
One of my colleagues took his life out. He was showing signs of anxiety, and everyone just thought that could have been prevented.
Since 2016, MB has received 51 formal bullying complaints from staff. 47 were either not substantiated, withdrawn or resolved, while 4 were substantiated, partially substantiated or are still being investigated. That includes the man we spoke to. 2 years after he laid his complaint, he's still waiting for answers and an apology. Alan Hulse is the man's advocate.
We're talking about the government agency that's supposed to be keeping workers safe. So it's quite frightening. In fact, it's terribly frightening because it means that nobody can have confidence in this organisation.
New Zealand is one of the worst countries in the world for workplace bullying and harassment. Yet Hulse says WorkSafe, which operates under MB, has never prosecuted one single workplace bullying case. For its part, MB says it takes all reports of alleged unacceptable behaviour seriously. MB says it's committed to providing a safe and respectful work environment, and staff are encouraged to speak out about bullying and harassment. When asked why it's taken so long for this investigation, more than 2.5 years, MB says it can take time for a multitude of reasons and every case is different. Amanda Gillies, Newshub.
And if Amanda's story has brought up any issues for you, there is a national helpline on 1737 with people who are available 24/7 to offer support.